have.
Okay. All right.
Those.
All right. Good evening.
I think it went on.
Good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. How's everyone doing? Come on, do better than that. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Awesome. I know it's been a long day. It sure has been for me, but we would like to call to order the February 19th, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. Note the presence of all three commissioners. I'd like Commissioner Spiegelman to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Not to put you on the spot, but we're going to do that.
I think I know the words. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. All right. So good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be in Abington Township. Thank you for having us and hosting us. This is something that we try to do to ensure that people have access to our Board of Commissioners meeting. We know that they're typically at 10 a.m. Every other Thursday, and it's hard for community members to come out. So this is an idea that my colleague, Commissioner DeBello, came up with when we first came into office. And so we're glad to be in Abington tonight. I want to first thank the Abington School District for hosting us this evening. I want to recognize your superintendent, Jeffrey Fetcher. Is he here? How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for hosting us. Melissa Mowry, the president of the board, thank you. Commissioner Spiegelman, who did an awesome job, didn't he, leading us in the pledge? And the entire Abington School Board, Board of Commissioners, it's really great to be here, and thanks for hosting us today. I also want to acknowledge some of our county row officers. I believe that Dr. Janine Darby, our coroner, will be joining us. Lori Schreiber, who is our clerk of courts, and also an Abington commissioner, Commissioner Jimmy DiPlacido. I see him in the back. How are you? Good to see you. And Jean Sorg, our recorder of deeds. She is in the back. Thank you for being here. I also want to acknowledge your chief of police. I recognize that this week, a year ago, you had an awful fire at SBS Technologies here in this community. And your first responders from not only this area, but throughout Montgomery County did an amazing job responding to that fire. And so I want to acknowledge your police chief, who I was with earlier this week, Chief Malloy. Thank you and your team for the work that you do to keep our communities safe. And thank you to all of our first responders for the work they do day in and day out. So let's give our police chief a round of applause. I also want to do a special acknowledgement to my husband, Kevin, who usually is working. I was going to have him lead us in the pledge, but he was late. So I'll talk to him about that later. But he doesn't oftentimes get to see his wife in action at board meetings. So thank you, Kevin, for being here. So I have a few, we start these meetings with opening remarks. So I have a few opening remarks, and then I'll give my colleagues an opportunity to share some things. But in a few minutes, you'll hear from Commissioner Spiegelman about all the great things happening in your community. But before we get to that, I did want to share a little bit about what the county has been doing to support the growth for Abington's people, businesses, and spaces recently. Over the last few years, we've directed nearly $250,000 in pandemic relief funds to Abington Public Schools to help enhance mental health care for your students. Hopefully, our administrators and teachers across the district have seen the impact of these funds for your students. And thanks to our Department of Health and Human Services, our Office of Veteran Affairs, we were able to train Abington law enforcement officers and first responders to join our veterans response team. This is a group of people who are knowledgeable and prepared to provide specialized services to veterans who are experiencing a crisis. There are, in addition to many recent and ongoing infrastructure projects, last summer we replaced County Bridge 269. That's not a very good name. We got which carries Easton Road over Sandy Run. While that may have seemed like a long diversion for many that travel that road, we actually finished that bridge 3 months ahead of schedule. We've also supplied nearly $100,000 in grant funding to support transportation projects in the township, improving connectivity and stormwater management along Washington Lane, Jenkintown Road, Greenwood Avenue, and Meeting House Road. And we've invested nearly $80,000 toward the proposed installation of 6.5 miles of bicycle infrastructure, including signage and road markings. There's a lot of great things on the horizon in Abington, and we're looking forward to hearing more later in the meeting. Moving further north, I'm excited to share that tomorrow we'll be opening the county's new short-term supportive shelter in Lansdale. This will be a 20-bed, 24/7 emergency facility that's designed to get residents off the street and back on a stable path. It has the capacity to serve as much as 75% of those in need in Lansdale. It took the partnership of local leaders in Lansdale, as well as a $1 million philanthropic donation from Mr. Toady to get this facility up and running. And it's one of 3 facilities that the county has worked on. We opened a shelter in Pottstown last year, Lansdale this coming week, and we'll break ground on a new facility in Norristown later this month. We've made it clear that in Montgomery County, no one should have to sleep on the streets. And this is something that we've aligned on as a board, and we are taking a clear and bold action to ensure that we're supporting our unhoused friends and neighbors. So this is a major milestone. So if you aren't busy at 2 o'clock tomorrow, we would love to have you join us for that ribbon cutting. Next up, last week, the county's initiatives align with the Governor Shapiro's new housing action plan, which he announced last week. This plan gives counties, municipalities, housing developers, and other housing partners the resources we need to facilitate new housing, preserve existing housing stock, and collaborate more effectively. We look forward to working with our many partners within the Commonwealth to put these recommendations into action because we know there is not one single solution. We need to stabilize families today. We need to ensure that we have housing for tomorrow, and we need to collaborate on long-term progress. Yesterday, I was grateful to join the governor for a major announcement with Johnson & Johnson. J&J announced it will be investing over $1 billion into a biomanufacturing facility in Lower Gwinnett Township. This facility will develop individualized cell therapies and medicine that is truly groundbreaking. It's pretty amazing to think that the medicine of the future will be developed right here in Montgomery County. It's a reflection of the strength of our community. Some of the most innovative companies in the world have been choosing Montgomery County. We have an incredible workforce here in Monco, and we are well connected to some major institutions of medicine and education. So this will be great for our local economy as well as our local workforce. And we're grateful to J&J for expanding their footprint here in Monco. I'm almost done. One more thing. Finally, in honor of February being Black History Month, I want to acknowledge that a few weeks ago, my fellow commissioners and I hosted a meeting with the Montgomery County's NAACP branch presidents. 2 local presidents from this area joined us, Dr. William Taylor from Cheltenham branch, and then Maurice Davis from the Willow Grove branch. We had a great discussion to see where our priorities overlap and where we can support each other as we try to make Montgomery County an inclusive and welcoming place for all. The county has celebrated Black History Month throughout February with special events happening every Wednesday. Next week will be our final program, and it will be an in-person event that will be held on Wednesday, February 25th at noon at the Montgomery County Community College. It will feature music, performers, and many celebration acknowledgements of celebrating 100 years of Black history. Those interested can register to attend via our website. So that's it for me. So I'll turn it over to my colleague, Commissioner Makija.
Good evening, everyone. And I apologize because I have a cold. I also have a 2-year-old, so I'm just a little more tired than usual. So really, it's not that different. But it's great to be in Abington. Great to be back here. The second most populous township in the county. I think we compete with Lower Merion, so sometimes we're ahead. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the parks and trails and the great things that the county has here in Abington. Abington has 300 acres of parkland, 230 of which are in the county-owned park, Lorimer Park. It's where Fox Chase Lorimer Trail links with County and Philly. You all know it well. We had a great ribbon cutting with a piece of that trail that was completed last year. And a lot of this stuff happens because of the great work of our planning commission. They have a table set outside. Is Scott France here, director of our planning commission? Scott, you may know the Monco 2040 program. They implement fantastic grants matched with the townships. All told, we've given 3 projects grants here in Abington, totaling $350,000 recently, including $150K to Ardsley Wildlife Sanctuary so that they could expand ADA accessible trails, restore natural habitats and stormwater features like rain gardens. We also awarded in 23 $80,000 to the township for the master bicycle plan, installing more miles of bicycles so people can get around through active transportation. Part of what's great about this partnership is our planning commission works with Abington Township in a collaboration supporting their land development, and we've been able to just improve walkability and expand bike lanes and also promote affordable housing and sustainability as well. So the county's helped Abington enhance a number of community spaces from Keswick Village and Old York Road, as well as the design for Hollowell Park. So clearly Abington's a great place to live for many reasons, and Township Commissioner Spiegelman is going to tell us more about that in a second. So look forward to it. I also want to acknowledge that it's been 1 year since the SPS fire, and all 3 of us just met with the SPS leadership, Dan Gear, the general manager, and Dave Dugan, the government relations head. And it's great news that we are going to see the factory come back and be built right here in Abington. And it's also important to note that it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a state-of-the-art facility. And while there were 500 jobs, this is going to be 250 jobs due to automation. And one of the big topics that we are thinking about is how we prepare as public officials for the changes that are coming due to AI and automation, including which jobs are disappearing, which ones are going to be new, and how do we train our workforce for that. So one of the conversations that came up with SPS was how do we work with them in the community college to make sure we're preparing people for the jobs that are now going to exist in this facility about a year from now. And one of the things I'll also say is a set of jobs that is growing are skilled trades, union work. And the governor's announcement yesterday was fantastic, not only because it's bringing innovative life sciences here, but it's also 4,000 union construction jobs. I see Orville from the steam fitters here. Robinson, thank you for being here. He was at the announcement as well. But these are great paying jobs right here in our community where we're building these new facilities that are creating life-saving medicines. So look forward to the same thing happening when SPS is coming together. But I also want to celebrate. I don't think I have these awards. Is this the right thing? Here at Abington Middle School, we're happy to celebrate a major achievement, which is that the middle school has been recognized by the Pennsylvania Positive Behavior Support Network for outstanding efforts in creating a positive and welcoming school environment. This is made possible by the leadership and dedication of all the staff at Abington Middle School, along with the strong support of the district's student services team. So can all the folks who are here please stand up and be recognized? Principal Danielle File, Assistant Principal Seamus Smith, Assistant Principal Julia Smith, Kinshasa Rogers, Assistant Principal as well, and then Dr. Matthew Wexler, Coordinator of Student Support Services. Please give them all a round of applause. Thank you all for your work. Of course, it's not just the adults who made this possible, it's the kids who are living up to their full potential. And one part of the program is that the middle schools implemented a pledge of character. This program encourages more than 8,000 students district-wide to live by values such as kindness, encouragement, respect, and more. Every month, the school honors 24 students who exemplify these values. And tonight, we're lucky to have some of the January honorees who are being recognized for living up to the values of helpfulness. So all students in the room, please stand up. I know we've got 11 here. You can come on up and we're gonna take a photo with you. So, I'd like to invite the principal file up with the students, and we'll take a photo and recognize your achievement. Okay. We go up here.
Can we squeeze in just a little bit? Can you guys maybe? There you go. A little bit more. There you go. Perfect.
I look at the 1, 2, 3.
We'll share this.
So next up is, you may not know this, but February is also National Library Lovers Month. Any library lovers here? Libraries are a cornerstone of our communities. I often go to the library these days in Bryn Mawr with my son. It's a great activity outside of home where there's few public spaces left, where everybody's welcome at no cost. It's a true public good, giving kids options to learn to read, access digital skills. Also for adults looking for job search resources, libraries are providing more resources than ever. And we wanted to just honor this month by recognizing the Abington Public Library Executive Director, Elizabeth Fitzgerald. Elizabeth here. So we're going to ask you to come up in a second. But for those of you who don't know, Abington's public library collection boasts hundreds of thousands of materials for loan, including a library of things such as board games, puzzles, tools, and even a pickleball kit, which I'm sure is very popular. In 2024, the library became fine-free, which sounds very progressive. I didn't experience that when I was using libraries the most, but for most loans, it makes the resources even more accessible, and membership with the county library system expands their offerings across the entire county. Fun fact, the library welcomed over 332,000 people last year, which is a 12% increase over the prior year. And the librarians answered 42,922 questions, which is just one question shy of how many we're going to get in public comment today. But Liz, thank you for being here. Thank you for your whole team. And please come on up for the proclamation to recognize this month.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier. Go ahead. Well done, your home turf. Nobody knows what to do. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Okay. Finally, I want to applaud our police chief, Patrick Malloy, who is also the head of the Montco Chiefs Association. Recently, he signed a letter, did the work to get all of the chiefs, is that correct? All of the chiefs to sign on to a letter of a topic that's really important for people right now, which is regarding what's happening with federal agencies regarding immigration enforcement and many of the concerns that citizens have over actions being taken around the country. And the letter basically says, here in Montgomery County, our local law enforcement is committed to the safety and well-being of every resident and visitor in our community, and that none of these police departments have signed on to a Section 287G agreement with ICE, which means that they're all focused on local issues of safety. None of them have been deputized to perform immigration enforcement. And that's really important now when people are afraid to come forward if they're witnesses to a crime, because they don't know if they're risking their presence here because of their immigration status. There are also concerns just across the board about whether people are being detained appropriately, given the changing standards at the federal government and a lack of due process. I've seen issues where people have been detained for months and just didn't see their day in court because the courts are also backlogged, and the whole system is deeply troubling in the way that it's functioning right now. But here in Montgomery County, it's really important that we can convey that we're focused on public safety every day. It's not our local police's job to engage on issues of immigration. We're here to ensure everyone in the community is safe. And when crimes are committed, they're also thoroughly investigated, no matter who is the perpetrator. Our local police and detectives are doing, incredible job making sure that people are held accountable across the board. So I just want to thank you. For anyone who hasn't read the letter, it's up here. It's extremely thoughtful and makes clear that our local police here are committed to upholding the rule of law and that no one is above that. And we're also keeping all of our communities safe. So I just wanted to thank you, publicly for that, because it's not easy to get 50 chiefs on board with anything, and especially something that's, at the top of the news right now. But this is what our community needs to hear. So thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to Commissioner DeBello.
All right. Everyone hear me? If the mic's on or not. So as you've heard so far, it's really exciting for us to be here in Abington. This is an initiative that we started back in 2024 to try to get to different townships from time to time. We call it our commissioner meeting on the road. And it's our opportunity to give residents to talk to us more of from a local perspective, like things that are happening that they particularly have concerns about that may not uh, get to us at the county level, in Norristown when we're there. So we're really excited to be here in Abington. As mentioned by my colleagues, we were all here last year. I can't believe it's a year already. It seems like it was a fast year, but it was a very devastating evening, as we all know, with the fire at SPS. And I know we covered a lot of it, but that was an incredible evening. The way, when I say incredible, not that SPS experienced the fire, but it was incredible the way all the first responders from multiple counties, multiple fire stations. I think it was 70 plus apparatuses here at any given time. It was just amazing. And when you see the videos from that evening, and when you see the way the wind was blowing and the flames were being, pushed in a certain direction, the first responders did an amazing job because there was no secondary fires, which was just incredible in itself when you saw how intense the fire and the flames were, as well as when you see this, it's amazing when that there was no one, no lives lost, no injuries. And that just goes to show the professionalism and how fortunate we are with all our first responders, all our fire departments, and our neighboring counties, that they just came together and worked as one huge united team, which, yeah, really. I know when I was over here and I was in the command centers and watching, and it was just, it was how it was. You would think that they do this day in and day out together, but we know that's not the case. I mean, they help each other, but not like what we saw that evening. And just watching in the command center and how everything was just coming together and how it was all orchestrated and the communication, and it was flawless. And if we could package that up and sell it, we would make a fortune for Montgomery County, because it was an extremely impressive operation. And as mentioned, the good news is we got an update from SPS that they're in the process of rebuilding. And that's great. That's great for Abington. They've been here for over 100 years, and they hope to be here for another 100 years. And the facility, when Commissioner McKeisha already touched upon it, but I'll just say again, when this facility is finished, it's going to be a state-of-the-art operation. And it's the opportunities for SPS in this area are going to be endless for what they're rebuilding and what their future looks like. So it's great to have them here. We're excited to have them continue to have a partnership with them. And we look forward to, working with Abington Council commissioners and anything we can do to make sure that they are up and running. I know they have an aggressive schedule, and that's good. And I hope it all comes together for them as their plans continue to materialize. And we look forward to being here when we have a big ribbon cutting, because that's going to be an amazing, awesome day when that facility is up and running here. So, and again, I want to thank all of our first responders and our police. They do an incredible job here in Abington, day in and day out, protecting all of us. So that's good. We appreciate everything that you do. I'm probably going to go out of order a little bit, maybe. And I'll do this next. I don't stick to scripts, right?
No, you don't.
So another huge accomplishment here in Abington, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this, but your Abington High School boys soccer team had an amazing soccer season, and they were crowned the PIAA 4A boys soccer champions, state champions, right? It's state champions. So that's I was, both Commissioner Weiner and myself were on school boards, and I, the school board I was on, one of our teams won a state championship. So we were able, saw the entire season and the process getting to that. And when you see it and the dedication of the parents, the players, the coaches, the school, it's all that has to come together for a team to have an amazing season and have that and bring home the state championship here to Abington. And I believe it's their first state championship in 41 years. And again, that comes to the players are phenomenal. But it takes players, coaches, parents, school administration, teachers, students, all of it, all that together is what produces state championships. And to have a state championship here in Abington, it's exciting. And we're excited to be here this evening so we can welcome the high school soccer team. We want to recognize them. But before we bring everyone up, also, we were told that Coach Gerber has decided to retire. He's only been doing it for 31 years. I don't understand why he's retiring. He's still a rookie. But I know that 31 years is a lot of dedication. And that itself is amazing. Or 30 years, I guess it is, over 30 years as a coach and educator. So that's a lot of dedication to the community, to the school district, the students as well. And we want to first recognize Coach Garber for being everything that he's done for Abington and the school and the boys soccer. And I'm sure you're going to be missed, but I'm sure you're also looking forward to expending a little bit of time, a little free time. When soccer season's back up and running, you could sit back and say, well, you go watch from the stands. I'm sure you're not going to be able to walk away completely. So is coach here? Yep, there he is. So come on up. Well, you gonna do it all together? Yeah. Okay, so then as mentioned, we're gonna recognize the boys soccer team as well with a proclamation from the county and the success of bringing home the state championship.
Can we get,
There we go.
I don't think so. Clearly not. That's better. There you go. That's
All right, 1, 2, 3.
I hope.
All right, and now just hit one more thing real quick. Pico customers, they have their 2026 relief fund that's actually expanding from their 2025. They launched this program last summer to help offset costs for families with household incomes that were just above the poverty line. This year, they expanded the program to include lower income families as well. And they added an additional $2.5 million that's available to be granted to their customers. So the total is up to $12.5 million. So applications are open again for all PICO customers that would fall into that criteria. And they're open on March 2nd. So we know that it's, you know, especially with this winter, some people could have fell on some hard times or their bills getting what they say in arrears. And this is an opportunity to work with PICO, and they're going to do everything they can to ensure that they could provide some relief to their customers. So please make sure to contact them. The application, you could go PICO online. I don't know if we have the website up, but we could go PICO online as well, and it'll direct you to where you could go to fill out an application. So please, if you need, don't hesitate to contact PICO. The money's there to help you everywhere they can. And then finally, this past Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, and which means for those that practice the Catholic faith, Lent is underway. So I want to wish everyone a peaceful Lent season that celebrates. And remember, no meat on Friday. For those that was drilled into us. For those that might have went to Catholic school too, that was drilled into us as young kids. But you know, Easter will be here in several weeks, and so we just want to wish everyone a happy Lent and look forward to seeing the Easter Bunny as well. And I think that's all I got.
Good. All right. Before we continue with the meeting, I wanted to just share if anybody wants to sign up for public comment, they can sign up. Our lovely, I can't see you. Okay. Okay. You can sign up with Megan if you would like to give public comment. All right. It's finally the star of the show. The Welcome to Abington by Commissioner Spiegelman.
I'm a person of few words, so, you know, I'll keep this in my typical brief fashion.
Okay.
Chair Winder, Vice Chair McKeeja, Commissioner DeBello, everyone from the county team and our county row officers, our wonderful hosts, our school district in this incredible space. In the spirit of partnership and cooperation and the shared sacred duty of local governance and also friendship, it is my honor to welcome you all to Abington Township. Thank you so much for being here. We do have a PowerPoint that was prepared by two of our incredible township team members, Assistant Township Manager Ashley McIlvain and Manager of Communications Grace Skaluski. And we'll go through this. Hopefully I will be able to use the clicker correctly. But they put together some facts about Abington. As you said, we are the second largest municipality in the county. We're just behind Lower Merion. But we have a tremendous amount going on here. We have 2 hospitals, including one of the county's only 2 level 2 trauma centers. We have 2 universities. We have one of the best school districts you will find anywhere in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Hey, we have 3 Chipotles. We really and a mall. Well, we have a lot going on in Abington, and we pride ourselves on listening to and serving our neighbors, the folks who put us in office. And what we do would not be possible without partnerships. You know, as we all know, this is we're living in interesting times, as the expression goes. You know, a lot of folks are having some difficulty, to put it mildly, in their interactions with our federal government. That makes it more important than ever that on the most local levels that we respond to the folks we serve and that we work together. And it is such an honor to be able to work together with our county partners. You do so much for us. One example on the Second slide. Nope, going backwards. One example on this slide. Um, Recently, a major stormwater and trail improvement project at Ardsley Wildlife Sanctuary was completed, and that was due heavily to Monco 2040 grant funds. That's the kind of partnership that makes what we do possible. Which really, it's incredible. As you see, we recently acquired some property on Easton Road, which is our township's only county road. And this is going to be used, this is something that was a dream and vision spearheaded by my friend, our Ward 14 Commissioner, and of course, our County Clerk of Courts, Lori Schreiber. And the fact that this property right on our county road is going to be used for community purpose is really, again, it's a dream and vision come true. You can see so many of the incredible investments we've made into our park system due heavily to our allocation of ARPA funds for that purpose. You already talked about, I'm forwarding on my computer. But, you already talked about our library. I could go on about our library all day, but nobody wants to hear me go on all night. Our library is the soul of our community. The way they serve all residents and are a welcoming space for everyone. They provide access to books, encouragement of literacy, and so much more. They really are a hub for our hearts in this community. You talked about the work of our first responders. It's incredible that it's been a year since the SPS fire. Our all volunteer and fully accredited Abington Township Fire Department are absolute heroes. What they did leading the charge to put out that fire and prevent loss of life, loss of property, and unfathomable disaster. They are absolute heroes. And who were one of the first mutual aid agencies to come to help our township and our heroic volunteers? County Hazmat. We'd be talking about a very different situation if it hadn't been for the help of Montgomery County. And I remember all of you being there. I think Commissioner DeBella, that's the first time we met.
Yep.
And I will say our police department is second to none. Again, fully accredited in every possible way. And not only is our chief, Pat Malloy, the president of the Montgomery County Chiefs Association, he is now going to be the incoming president of the Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association, which is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I will say one more. I'll say one more thing, and then I'll let us get on with the evening. One of the many things, initiatives we have going on, the separated bike lanes action plan, that is possible because we had help from county representation in the advisory group. So really, we are so grateful to work with you. Anybody wants to talk about Abington, please feel free. But I know there's a lot else to get to. Thank you for indulging me this time. Thank you for being here in Abington. Thank you for being our partners and our friends.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So first up is our first public comment section of the evening. This public comments time period is for today's pending votes only, and we'll limit it to 3 minutes.
David Morgan.
He's not, no.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm David Morgan from Ambler Borough, and it's a delightful time to be here. I was at the Lower Merion meeting, and it's my role often at meetings to look at the agenda items and see what's costly to represent the taxpayers. And I noticed in B8, which is page 2 of the agenda, there's a contract renewal for supervision services, which makes me wonder about zero-based budgeting. Do we need supervision services in certain ways like voice recognition, So I was wondering about that item, $207,000. And then there's also the large cost for election voting system support of $606,000. So I think that looking at all these aspects, there's three parts of this to really see that it's being wisely spent for our taxpayers to afford things. We have to realize that over the last, say, 6 years, our tax hike has been 57.9% in the county tax in the April bill line A. And so that's my calculations, and that's been looked at by other people in math. I know we have a convergence of factors going on in affording these items on the agenda. One is the fact that these taxes increases have included the 4%, which was bipartisan, the latest one, but there's then again a drawdown of reserves of 13 million. So that's going to be faced sometime in the future. We had a 13% that was voted on by Commissioner Winder when she was on the board. Then she was joined by the two other members, her colleagues, for 9.69%, and then with a 4%. So we have these to bear as citizens. And I know there's a convergence of other factors in Abington. We have the fact that the fire happened, mentioned many times tonight, and there's the loss, I imagine, the tax base for the running of that facility and everybody who was involved with that in their jobs. And I think that's going to be weighing on the taxpayers. Also in Abington, the middle school has been proposed to be rebuilt. And so that's going to be a cost that some people have mentioned in earlier meetings for the county commissioners. So beyond that, we have the county campus program with the Justice Center was conventionally known as 415 million. And that was in the newspaper, in a reporter newspaper. Now it's going up to 480 million, as high as that. So we got to find that gap of some 65 million. We also have no chief financial officer now in the county. Mr. Dean Dortone has left his job. So we need to really get down to transparency so we really know what's going on with our budget. And I really like to have that really first in our minds as we go to meetings, that our commissioners keeping it easy enough to afford life now.
Mr. Morgan, your time's up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Joe
Next up.
Rooney?
Mr. Rooney?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you
Good
for
evening.
being in Abington and welcome.
Thank
And,
you.
like Commissioner Spiegelman said, it's a great place. It's great to live here. It's worth working for and it's worth fighting for. So I hope we have a nice crowd tonight and it's wonderful to see you here. I just had two items on the agenda. The first one is G4. You listed members for the Montgomery Human Relations Commission. So my question is there any either intellectual or political diversity on the Montgomery Human Relations Commission? So I know people actually applied for it and they were never responded to or asked to interview. So I was curious about it. There isn't any in Abington, so I'm curious whether there is any in the county. And the second one is, and this also relays back to something that Neil said. On G5, it talks about putting somebody on a prison board. So when you referenced the chief's letter, I don't think it was represented exactly correctly. So I'm asking the county, do we take criminal illegal aliens who are being released from our prisons and turn them over to ICE, or do we turn them back in where they can prey on members of our community in both Montgomery County and in Abington? Are we concerned about the public safety of our citizens here? And I think that's a really important thing that should be addressed. Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Rooney. Anyone else?
We have a third person, but unfortunately, none of us can read this name. So if you sign up for public comment,
Did-
agenda item,
Did anyone else sign up for? Yeah, come on up.
so sorry. None of us can read.
D.I. Cock, Abington.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Sure what I'm supposed to say. But no, I really just had the same comment or question that Mr. Rooney had, which is, what do we do if we arrest someone and find out that they were also a child molester, rapist, murderer, or some other criminal offense? do we in our county and in our township put that person out on the street? Or do we have them turned over to appropriate authority?
I mean,
Go
you
ahead,
want to
Jim.
finish your comment first? Read it.
Oh, that is my comment.
Okay.
It's a simple question.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if I need to make a comment,
we
obviously, I
can-
don't think that we should be putting murderers, rapists, child molesters, or any other sort of criminal, that they should be taken care of inappropriately by the judicial system. That decision ought
we
not
agree.
be made by, I guess, even a commissioner. I don't even know.
We don't, we
Maybe
don't,
it is the
make- we don't make
commissioners
those,
that need
we
to
don't
make
make those
that.
decisions.
Well, what happens?
ahead.
who-
Whenever you're done,
Is it the prison?
I'm happy to answer.
Okay,
But yeah, if,
well, that's my
we'll
question.
answer once everyone takes a
Please
seat.
answer.
Thanks. Okay, so
You can have a seat.
commissioners don't have anything to do with that process. You can have a seat. If someone is alleged to have committed crime, police can obtain a warrant readily. It happens all the time, every day. And with that warrant, a person can be arrested, detained, and the same due process requirement exists for ICE if they seek to essentially extradite or take someone out of one of our facilities, right? So, or someone who's departing our facility that they would pick up. So if ICE produces a warrant, we follow the law. Everybody essentially has to. And I don't know if you have anything to add. So and there's a lot of there's just fear mongering out there. And this notion that people are put at risk because we simply follow the law and judicial process. But these are actions and procedures that police officers follow every day for every sort of crime. But
I think to bring it around to the direct question that was asked, all of those crimes are a matter of criminal justice. And none of that is a matter that the commissioners make direct decisions on. That's our judicial process. And the punishments that the judicial process decides are those that get meted out.
yeah.
Any,
I- Let me answer the question. I think what I'm hearing, and I could be wrong, but this is, if somebody is in our county lockup and they're released out of county lockup, if ICE or any other federal authority or state authority or other county authority has a retainer request for that individual for whatever reasons, we will hold that individual for 4 hours. And when they come, they basically have to produce the paperwork, which is the same thing no matter what. And with that paperwork, that person is then released into the custody of the authority that's requesting that detainer. I think that's what
So
everybody's
I'll just
asking.
clarify that. That's if there's a warrant.
That's why I said,
for
if they
it,
have
a
the
warrant.
paperwork.
Yeah, but the paperwork is a warrant, which is distinct from a civil detainer is the only clarification I want to make.
okay, any other public comment? All right. Next up, approval of the minutes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 3rd, 2026 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, resolutions. Number one, authorization to enter into an agreement for a Safe Streets for All grant. Matthew Popak, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good evening. Hopefully, we can be pretty quick with a few of these, but happy to have the time before you tonight to discuss the county's Safe Streets for All grant. Just briefly, for the general public, what is the Safe Streets for All grant in the first place? A grant program was enacted as part of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or bipartisan infrastructure law, back in 2021, with the sole purpose of dedicating funding for planning and implementation grants to prevent deaths and serious injuries on the nation's roadways. So Safe Streets for All, the QR code is available. You can visit the USDOT's website to find out more information about the overall program. The main point and outcome of the planning grants is to come up with comprehensive safety action grants, which can be used then, the idea is to use them for future implementation grants if the planning grant is successful. As Commissioner Spiegelman mentioned, there are county roads in Abington, but there's 75 miles worth of county roads across the entire county, and our roads vary dramatically in terms of character. You have Easton Road in a fairly dense urban setting in Abington. We have some major pikes, Ridge Pike, Germantown Pike, Sumneytown Pike, some rural roads such as Swamp Pike and Garyville, and even some in outer reaches of some of our parks. Our intention applying for a Safe Streets for All grant in the fall of 2024 was to develop a comprehensive safety action plan for all 75 miles worth of roadways. Fortunately enough, we were selected by the USDOT in fall of 2024 to receive $400,000 for part of that particular grant round. And we are now coming to you for essentially approval and final sign off of the grant agreement. It was under review throughout much of 2025 to make sure that there was compliance with the updated terms and conditions under the current presidential administration. But the county solicitors have reviewed it at this point and are ready to move forward with it. The county will be matching $100,000 of this grant with some funds that are from the ARPA allocations that are left over. So we are looking to go out soon with an RFP for engineering firms. $500,000 will hopefully get us a complete comprehensive safety action plan for all 75 miles worth of roadways. So we're seeking your approval of this resolution to have Lee sign the documents, and it will go back to FHWA and we'll get underway.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 1 as described by Matthew Popek. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, authorization of a grant match for the Montgomery County Fire Chiefs Association. Brian, come on up.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good evening, Commissioners. This resolution authorizes Montgomery County to provide the local match required for a federal fire safety grant. The Montgomery County Fire Chiefs Association applied for and received a fire prevention and safety grant from FEMA with the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The purpose of this grant is to improve public and firefighter safety through prevention, training, and education initiatives. The grant will fund smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, bed shakers, and a countywide mapping program to help ensure that these detectors are offered and installed in areas with the greatest need. It will also fund training for fire companies, EMS partners, and police departments regarding juvenile fire starter education and prevention programs. And lastly, it'll fund certification training so emergency service professionals can become youth fire setting intervention specialists. FEMA awarded $587,809.52 in federal funding for the project, and as with many federal grants, a local cost share is required. The required non-federal match is $29,390.48, bringing the total project to $617,200. This resolution approves the county's contribution of $29,390.48 to meet that match requirement, allowing the Fire Chiefs Association to fully utilize the federal grant funds.
Great, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2 as described by Brian McCowan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment?
Just quick comment. Obviously, you heard earlier why as a county that we support these types of grants, and it's actually you put out $29,000. What I want to reverse that a little bit to actually talk about percentages, because it's a 95% federal funding to 5% county match, basically. And I think for 5%, it's an incredible program, and we're really excited to be able to support that initiative.
Great. Moving. Any of?
I was saying, great deal.
That's right. Good deal. It is a good deal. Moving to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Brian. Next up, authorization for TEFRA approval for AX Management Services. Steve.
Good evening, Commissioners. Steve Forster, Director of Commerce. Before you today is a request by AX Management Services Incorporated seeking a resolution approving the issuance of an amended note in an amount not to exceed $11.5 million. AX is a nonprofit operator of Continuing Care Retirement Communities, or CCRCs. They opened their first community in 1972 at what is now Fort Washington Estates here in Montgomery County. Today, ACTS is one of the largest not-for-profit operators of CCRCs in the United States, with approximately 28 communities in 9 states, with 5 of those right here in Montgomery County. The new note is an amended and restated note from a previous 2021 note issued by the Upper Gwinnett Township Industrial Development Authority and has been approved by that authority pursuant to a TEFRA hearing and resolution adopted February 4th of this year. The hearing was properly advertised in the Reporter more than 7 days in advance of the approval. Because the refinancing is for a Montgomery County-based entity, the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act of 1982, or TEFRA, requires approval by the highest elected official in the county where the funds are to be utilized. Approval of this note will benefit the health, safety, and welfare of residents of Montgomery County by improving the management company's balance sheet, extending the term of their debt, and preserving and retaining existing jobs. Neither the General Credit nor Taxing Authority of Montgomery County are pledged as security for this note. Thus, the county takes no financial risk nor obligation in this transaction, and it does not impact the county's balance sheet in any way. I therefore request your approval of the resolution as presented by the solicitor approving the issuance of the bond or the note. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 3 as described by Steve Forrester. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, amendment to the resolution creating the Montgomery County Human Relations Commission and Commissioner's appointment to the Montgomery County Human Relations Commission. I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendment and board appointments as described in Resolution G-4. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Staying.
Motion carries. Next up, Commissioner's reappointment to the Montgomery County Board of Prison Inspectors. I'd like to make a motion to approve the board reappointment as described in Resolution G-5. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, Attorney Brew for Personnel.
Evening, Commissioners. You have in front of you the final copy of the Commission Department's personnel list. It is a 3-page document dated February 19, 2026, with a timestamp of 3:52 p.m. All positions have been reviewed and presented for your consideration.
Great. I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 19th, 2026 personnel presentation as given by Mr. Anthony Brew. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, advertisements of bids and RFPs, Montgomery County Exhibit A. I'd like to make a motion to approve the advertisement of bids and RFPs for Montgomery County on attached Exhibit A. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing, go ahead.
On number 2, do we have to get the ducks in a row first before we? Lee made me do it.
Don't encourage him.
He made me do
What?
it. It's for ducks cleaning service.
Haha, that's so funny. This guy's a comedian.
He did.
All right. It's a long night. Any other board comment? I'm moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Now you threw me off, so I'm on Exhibit B. Awards of Contract Montgomery County Exhibit B. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Montgomery County on attached Exhibit B. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Again, Mr. Morgan, you raised really good, where'd he go? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. You raised really good points, and I always like to respond to your comments when you ask specific questions on some of the agenda items. And although it seems high, the number 8 that you referred to, there's a lot involved in that, and with monitoring services, ankle bracelets, all the kind of things associated within the judicial system with arrest and all that, and with the prisons. And so I asked that question as well, and there's just a lot packed into that 200,000. And number nine, yes, it's unfortunate when we see large numbers associated with the voting, but then when you think about the number of voting precincts and voting machines and all that goes into that, it does kind of balance out. Plus, there is offsets that we get from the state for the voting systems as well. So, but I appreciate you pointing them out, and I always try to respond to your questions.
Any other comments? Moving to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And next up, awards of contracts, Southeast PA Regional Task Force Exhibit C. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Southeast PA Regional Task Force on attached Exhibit C. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is public comment, a limit to 3 minutes. This is general public comment, but we ask that it is germane to county business. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Liz Ferry. Hi, good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
My name is Liz Ferry, and I'm from Upper Dublin Township, and I'm here this evening representing the Montgomery County Republican Committee to request that the county's mail-in drop boxes be placed indoors at municipal facilities that are open during normal business hours. Unfortunately, voters from both parties increasingly have lost trust in the election process. Montgomery County has 18 drop boxes, many of which are located in municipal buildings or libraries. However, there are numerous drop boxes that are located in public places outside and available at all hours of the day and night. The cameras provided are not monitored and often don't capture a clear view of the boxes. Delaware County's drop boxes are all located in municipal buildings or libraries. Bucks County's drop boxes are all located in government buildings or libraries. Chester County's drop boxes are all located in libraries. Montgomery County is the only county in the region that has drop boxes located outside. The Norristown Erie Street parking lot is located outside and within close walking distance to the county building. There is no need for this box to be located outside. The Skip Back 4-H Center box is located in an open, secluded area. The Royersford parking lot across from Victory Park is an open area with little traffic. Upper Dublin Township, where I'm from, has 2 drop boxes, which is unnecessary. And we know that a case was brought to DA Steele regarding the head of the Upper Dublin Democratic Committee, who was caught on camera putting multiple ballots in the box during the very early hours of the morning. To capture this fraud required hours of volunteer time. The worst offender is the drop box at Green Lane Park, which is located in a dark wooded area with nothing around it. Americans are increasingly distrustful of government at all levels. Having drop boxes located in public areas available at all hours only adds to that distrust. Moving these boxes to indoor locations is easy to do, and municipalities would welcome it. We urge you to make the mail-in ballot process safer and more trustworthy. In addition, I would also like to raise the issue of the county van. For all intents and purposes, the van is a polling place. Polling places require a judge of elections to oversee the polling place and ensure compliance with election laws. Inspectors assist the judge and help manage the voting process. Clerks are responsible for maintaining records and
Ms.
assisting
Ferry, your
voters.
time's up. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for being here. Bob Jazenbuski.
Bob Jesnowski, Abington. I want to thank Tom for suggesting this going around to the different townships and getting out to the people. Not many people can go on a Thursday in Norristown at 10 o'clock in the morning, especially working people, taxpayers. So I want to thank you for coming here today. I got my new tax bill, and you successfully have a larger tax bite than my local tax, which pays for my libraries, my police, my fire, my all the other things that as you go through tonight, you always have all these different spending bills that you have all lined up and everything else. And then at the end of your fiscal year, you scramble around trying to figure out how to cover all the bills that you've racked up over the year. And it becomes a surprise. I don't know why, because if you spend more and spend more and spend more, you're going to keep doing it. I would recommend that on the agenda every month that you have a line item for trying to cut items or see what needs to be done. And what Joe and Dee had talked about before, one of the costs could be treating the county of non-citizen criminals that the federal government is willing to take off your hands. The prison systems cost a lot. We have a lot going towards non-citizen programs and other things, and diversity programs and these other types of programs. There's just programs after programs, and you have no problem doing that. And I ask that you do something to put a line item to cut and restrain spending. So at the end of the year, you're not dipping into the rainy day fund and raising our taxes. Abington has the same problem. Our taxes keep going up and up and up, and you're making it unaffordable. The word of the day is affordability, and no one talks about how the taxes and insurance and everything else just keep going up and up and up. And you're going to put the seniors and people that are on fixed incomes out of Montgomery County. That was my comment.
Thank you for your comment. Next up,
Jacqueline Warmstorf, I'm sorry.
Jacqueline.
Sorry, I'm not tall. Hi, my name is Jacqueline. I live in Abington Township in Huntington Valley. I'm not here speaking on behalf of any fancy groups or anything. I'm just speaking on behalf of myself and my neighbors who live on a road where there are no sidewalks. I'm really concerned about the speeding that's happening on our road and roads like ours. We live behind Huntington Pike, which is a major route, and people use our road to get from point A to point B, skipping the lights, especially during rush hour. There's many children on our road. We have many animals on our road. We have active adults living in our neighborhood, and there are no sidewalks to keep us safe from the cars. Over the last few years, people have driven into telephone poles, fire hydrants, fences, and most recently, someone just drove into a small ditch a few weeks ago. On our road, people walk, people run, children are waiting for the school bus. This morning, I was almost hit by a Jeep waiting with my child for the school bus. I'm not asking for unattainable resolutions to these types of issues, but I am asking for partnership to help figure out a way to reduce the speeding on our road and roads like ours for our safety and the safety of all of the neighbors on my road. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If you could just give your information to the team so we can, about where you live, what road, and you want to handle?
Jacqueline, if you don't mind staying to the end of the meeting, I'd love to talk with you about
Okay.
where you
And
live.
sorry, thank you.
David Morgan. Oh, sorry.
David Morgan again from Ambler, and to continue on about the pressures that taxpayers face, one other part of the county process is to add new positions, and there's a paper you'll find at every meeting you attend, adding new positions, which I wonder if are funded in our budget, and especially this evening, we have one new position for voter services, voter registration clerk. salary ranging from 40,000 to 60,000, 62,000. So these type of positions, I asked the commissioners if they can consolidate them, so we can see the rate of increase in all these. That's a pressure. There's a pension involved also in benefits for each of these individuals. We have possibilities of really going into deep holes in our financing. As in last spring, we were $55 million behind in trying to make ends meet. And so it was turned around through the whole year. So I'd like to have that addressed quickly. Also, I want to say that perhaps we know Commissioner Weiner mentioned about sharing the chair, and perhaps with Commissioner DeBello and not having opportunity yet over this going to the third year, perhaps creative way of having him have role of the chair sometime. And then beyond this, I like to say for my advocacy for things the county is doing really well. One thing is you'll see tonight the parent and infant resource guides out there, Health and Human Services has, and there's loads of great resources for people who are expecting a baby, especially through many pages of this, because white people decide they'll have a baby if they have emotional and financial support. So this is a really great thing to have the county. Also, a county movie was put out talking about women coming back from the hospital and maybe they have a cardiac issue. And there's reprints I'm going to give to each commissioner. As I mentioned it before, from the Inquirer. It was from the, let's see, 2024, July 21st. And it's about a Penn Medicine program where monitoring can help a woman really quickly get in touch with care if she needs it after having a baby. Then also just the mention of the Montgomery Mamas program, which helps minority birth outcomes be more successful. We haven't seen a presentation, that's the word, presentation from them in quite a while. So often it was in November, which is also National Adoption Month, which the county also does. So I encourage the county in these areas to foster life. And so perhaps soon we'll have a meeting with the Montgomery Mamas presentation. In Lower Merion, they mentioned a grant of something like $80,000 through a consultant to help Montgomery Mamas with doula support and all those things. So I think that's really very worthwhile to support. And the Planning Commission had this first mentioned to me in their 2040 report to have this kind of support available. So I'm glad that the Planning Commission had something to do with it. So there are really fine things. And one thing that's especially notable for cost is the pregnancy resource centers are often privately funded. No tax.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Joe Rooney.
I'll start off by saying I hope you all come back.
Hmm.
It's been a good meeting, and I think everybody here enjoys it and gets an opportunity to see you face to face. So I think this has really been great. Thank you. First, for Chairwoman Liz Ferry, thank you for that presentation. I too am worried about those drop boxes. I've shown Neil multiple illegal voting that's going on at those drop boxes, and every illegal vote is stealing a legal vote. That's what it is, and the county's done nothing about it. Just to let people know about that. The second one, the J&J investment is awesome, but let's never forget President Trump and his administration for the focus that they have on making our American economy great for Americans. And Dave McCormick for hoisting it, for helping that along also. Those are, they were important movements in that thing right there. And Bob Jazz and Mr. Moore both kind of stole a little bit I wanted to say, but I'm also interested in taxes. So you're in Abington. So between 2020 and 2026, our taxes for the township, that's it, not for the fire, not for everything, went up by 33.5%. In that same amount of time between 2020 and 2026, our county taxes went up by 58%. Mr. Morgan said that within like 0.5% or something like that. And here's a question I have for you all and for everybody. What's the core function of our county government? It's not a rhetorical question. I know I'm not going to give an answer, because it was a great presentation of all this stuff, and I picked up a pen from Mr. Dean out there, and there's all kinds of other stuff that's my tax dollars filtered through the government and coming back to me in a pen. In our township, the chief has gotten a load of accolades tonight. The core function of the township government, public safety, public works, trash, street maintenance, which is street facilities, snow removal, stuff like that. We know that. Now, there's a lot of other things, but everybody knows that that helps us literally every day. So we're paying 58% more than 2020. I can't answer where that is. And the compounded annual growth rate for the county is 7.9%. So that's higher than CPA since 2020. So it's going somewhere. Mr. Morgan hit the nail on the head when he said, you all are hiring people that nobody knows what they do, and we certainly don't see any results from them. That's a place to focus. Just a suggestion. So that's all that I had. Got a little time. I'll say thank you very much, and I do hope you all come back. And thank you for taking the time to drive here.
Thanks, Mr. Rooney.
Linda Weaver.
Hi, Linda Weaver, 2 Woodmont Court, Schwanksville, Limerick Township. First of all, it's great to be back in Abington. Prior to retirement, I was the president of the 16,000 public school educators in Bucks and Montgomery counties. And although I'm not supposed to have favorites among my 41 school districts, I'm here now in my favorite district, the district where my family has chosen to raise their children. So thank you to Abington for being what you are. Now, I have 2 things I would like to share this evening. First, kudos to Montgomery County for an article published in the Philadelphia Inquirer on January 13th. The county's Office of Innovation, Strategy, and Performance helped identify $14 million in savings over the last year, and it reduced the deficit in the county by half. This represented significant savings for taxpayers, and I want to say thank you for that. Second, a video posted on Donald Trump's Truth Social account on the night of February 5th, 2026, depicting former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as monkeys. The response from Democrats was swift and clear, while the response from many Republicans was muted or absent. I would like to quote from a statement issued by Democratic officials in Montgomery County. The president's decision to post a video depicting the Obamas as monkeys is an unmistakable act of racism. Shared during Black History Month, it was not accidental or careless. It was meant to provoke, divide, and degrade. At last count, 32 elected officials in Montgomery County signed on to this statement decrying this act and calling this out plainly and publicly. Republican officials were invited to sign on as well. So I want to thank you to Commissioners Winder and McKeisha for signing this statement, condemning what I see as a blatantly racist act by a sitting president. So I ask all of you, where was the Republican outrage over this overt racism? I really wanted to know. So of course I went to AI and I asked ChatGPT. I said, please search all platforms and find an official statement from the Republican Party condemning Trump's video portraying the Obamas as monkeys. Here was the response. I could not find any official statement by the National Republican Party or the Republican National Committee, RNC, formally condemning the video. Reporting indicates that there were criticisms from individual Republican politicians, but not a single unified official party condemnation. So individual Republicans condemned this video, and so now I would like Commissioner DeBello the opportunity to
Ms.
speak
Weaver.
out against this video as well.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Monica Monica Havauer.
I'm
sorry?
Do you want to speak, Monica? Do you have a public comment?
It was the third sheet, ma'am. It's the third sheet.
Okay. All right, next.
Okay, are you Monica?
Oh, okay.
Hi, just hold it. Okay. Hi, I'm Monica Harrower, Cheltenham Township. I first just want to thank all the commissioners for having this evening meeting because it is very hard to get to Norristown on a work day. So my comment is about the county's health department and first responders. My daughter is a Pennsylvania licensed EMT. She couldn't be here tonight because she's down at the station. But a few years ago, she was in her training to be an EMT, and she got a last minute directive to go and get a TB test. So I called the county health department to see if they could get her in. And they said the person I spoke to said she'd either have to be exposed or she had to be an immigrant. So then I went to the commissioners and told the commissioners what had happened in that exchange. They said that somebody from the county would get back from me and I did. I got a call from a woman at the county, and she said that was the policy because there were a lot of immigrants from the Ukraine coming in at the time, and they were testing positive for TB. So that's why they had the policy for immigrants and expose people. So what I'm asking is, can the county please reconsider that policy and make the TB tests available for all county residents, taxpayers, and the US citizens, especially people like first responders who get exposed to a lot of different diseases and such. So I would just hope that you would make it a more inclusive policy for all residents to be able to access those kind of services.
We can look into that. Thank you for sharing.
Joe Dunn.
I'm gonna go near it. Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name's Joe Dunn. I'm from Abington, and I really appreciate you coming here to see us. Tom told me he was going to do it, and he brought you here. Go,
Well, it was a
Tom.
collective effort. It wasn't
I'm
just.
sure it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. But there's always a point person, and I thank you for that. I would like to also congratulate the soccer team. It was so nice to see a team achieve that. You know, I was an athlete myself, and I got so sick of all the participation awards, one after another. And to actually see a real team do a real thing, and all it takes to do that, I'm glad that was brought up and put forth. So it's good going to school. I did watch the state of the county today, which you sort of did over again here. So I knew it was what was going to be said. And I noticed that Commissioner Widener, I appreciated what you spoke and said and talked about collaborating together and everything. But then I was a bit confused by, I don't want to call you Neil, Commissioner, but
Makisha.
I don't want to
Makisha.
destroy your
Commissioner
name.
Makisha.
Kind of confused me a little bit when you were talking about the way that the county is going to deal with ICE. I found it quite confusing.
I'm glad to
And,
talk about
and
it.
I know that the police chief, who I back 100% always, he's really a great guy. And I'm sure our police chief will do whatever's best for the people and the citizens, and I kind of got a little bit of clarification when Mr. DeBello spoke back about how it's going to work. Although I saw you kind of not shaking your head no when he was saying how
That's
they were going to
that's
work
typical
together.
for the two of them.
Like I said, I still find it quite confusing. But tax-wise, I was running for office lately, and I've spent a lot of time in my ward for talking to people. And the main thing I heard was about the taxes. The taxes are going up, 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 up. Up until yesterday, I had talked to people about it, and I saw the state of the county thing, how you had worked to bring the county taxes down like a good percent.
We did.
It seems like the county's going down and Abington is going up. So talk to these guys, will you? And see if they can do what you're trying to do, because between the taxes and that whole school building, the new school thing is just unbelievable to me. And people are starting to see it. People that I know went along with it now going, well, I didn't realize this, but I didn't realize that. So I'm hearing people really frightened out there. They're going to lose their homes. And I know you're worried about the homeless thing. And it looks to me like you might have a homeless problem sometime in the future. So
Thank you for your comments.
Oh,
Thanks for being
okay.
here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll just add, thanks. Yeah, thank you for your comment. And we collaborate, all of us, on many different issues, including within topics that we might disagree on. There's programs that we do on elections that are educational, that are informative, that Commissioner DeVella and I have worked on. There's, on the topic that you raised of, ICE, you might think of it as something that is somehow controversial, and divisive, and therefore is at odds with the idea of collaboration. But I don't think being collaborative means being silent on difficult issues. I think it means working through them. And in Bucks County, we saw that, where all three commissioners unanimously, bipartisan, made clear that they do oppose warehouses being used to detain people. And that's something that I commend. And if something like that were to happen in Montgomery County, where we saw an indication of that, as we have in Berks and in Schuylkill County, I would work to oppose that. And that's what I said at the State of the County. And it appears that many people across party lines feel the same way in townships across the county.
Anyone else?
Yes, Rabbi Elise Wetcherman.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for coming to Abington. It's really great to see you here. I actually am not here to ask you anything tonight. Don't worry. I'm just here to give you an update and report that as of today, we know that there have been 116 people, residents in Montgomery County, who have been confirmed to have been detained by ICE, and another 41 suspected. So 157 people who are missing from their homes, who are fathers, brothers, workers, all sorts of people, and including taxpayers. And I just wanted you to know that that's the number where we are now. They've been ripped out of their homes. And I also want to just clarify that of that number, we can confirm 2 had judicial warrants for crimes. 2. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, Regina Littman. Okay.
Hi, I'm Regina Littman. I live in Abington Township. My mailing address is in Huntington Valley, which means I live near Lower Moreland, Upper Moreland Townships, and also Bernathen Borough. And there's a bridge on Fetters Mill Road that connects Turwood or Fitzwatertown, yeah, it's Turwood at that point, with eventually Huntington Pike. That bridge has been out for a few years now. I think it was repaired and broke again. And it would, if it could be fixed, it would really alleviate some traffic congestion in the Beth Ayres area, like where Huntington Pike intersects with Welsh Road and Philmont Avenue. So I wanted to know if there's any plans to fix it, and if when. And I don't know whether it's, I thought I heard it was up to the county, but maybe it's one of the jurisdictions. And it's,
Yes. We can,
so-
we can check on that for you. I don't know if that's do we know? We'd have to look into it,
Yeah,
but we will
okay.
check.
We're also looking forward to having the bridge near Lorimer Park reopened soon. And I just want to say, I was a 7-term judge of elections in Abington Ward 2, District 2. I'm looking forward to the Montgomery County Trail Challenge this year. And I remember the commissioners once having a meeting in Hatboro on a night, at night. And it was so long ago that 2 Abington residents were 2/3 of the commissioners, Joe Hoffel and John Fox.
Okay.
And we've also had Josh Shapiro on the board. So Abington has contributed to your commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for your service as a judge of elections as well.
Desiree Whitfield. Desiree.
Good evening, Commissioners. Sorry, I'm late. Coming from downtown President's House rally. I have a concern that I need your assistance, and I need you all to tell me right now you're going to do something about it. For the last 3 months, I have been a faithful volunteer at the TLC Code Blue Shelter, in Norristown. As you know, the county is already 35 beds down. I know it's not, you cannot blame NIMBY, not in my backyard, because what I experienced, what I saw, what I heard from all of the guests that come there about how this housing situation is going in Montgomery County. All of them say that they were told that they are in a rapid rehousing list. There's no rapid rehousing list. Number two, all of them are told they're going to be seen by their crisis person, their people. They're not seen. Now, when I look at these people, everybody cannot be lying. One thing I do know is about the shelter that is in Horsham, the one that the county is spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for 35 rooms. A hotel that is the county is running that is CHOP, Coordinated Housing, Homelessness Outreach Center. They're supposed to be there for 90 days and then they are supposed to be housed. What I do know, and the Horsham detectives have the paperwork in front of them, they are not given the opportunity to seek housing in 90 days. Why? Because when they walk in the door, they think they are coming into CHOC. No, they are illegally being put into CTI, critical time intervention. They don't know what it is, but RHD is putting them in CTI so that they can get double the money. Everyone that is there, CTI means homelessness and mental health. There is no doctor there that is saying that they need to be there. This is a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. You sit there and allow this to happen, yet you have people that are really want to go into housing, but this is where your money is going. If you don't believe me, call the detective. I can't think of his name, okay? They are using a doctor's name and ID from years ago on their paperwork, okay?
Thank you for your comments.
I need you to look this up.
Happy to look into it. Thank you.
Okay, the last person is Joe O'Brien.
One thing I want to address about ICE. If you cross our border illegally, you have no rights, and ICE is going to deport you. Okay? If you cross the border from United States to Mexico, you will be put in prison. If you cross the border of North Korea, you are sentenced to death. If you cross the border of America, you're sent home. Okay, that's what this is about. You violated our law the minute you crossed the border. You can come through many other ways legally. But if you cross the border illegally, ICE is going to send you home. And that's what they're supposed to do. The other thing is the taxes going up is crazy around here. And the Trump video depicted a whole bunch of people in Congress as animals. It wasn't just the Obamas. There were, I don't know how many people were depicted in it, but they were all different animals. So they pick one thing and again, drive that. Okay. But if you cross the border, ICE is supposed to deport you. That's their job.
Any other comment? Okay. Any closing comments?
I have just a couple real quick. The budget and the taxes, I'll address quickly. Yes, taxes have gone up in Montgomery County. Yes, they went up last year by 4%. I never talk about previous boards, so I'm not going to go backwards. But I will say that, last year, we started early on in the year. and we worked extremely hard. We had a 55, as mentioned, we had a $55 million deficit, which equates to about a 18% tax increase. A lot of work went into reducing that as far as we could get to, including a reduction in resources. So when you see new positions, it's very well thought out. We're not just haphazardly adding positions. And no one was happy to increase last year. We're already working extremely hard on this year for the 27 budget. I think ultimately our goal is to be at zero. There's a lot of things that are outside of our control. I've mentioned at some of the budget meetings that we see expenses grow organically by 3 to 4%, and that means if we do nothing. And that's expenses that just grow, including we've had 9 to 9.5% increase in healthcare. So there's just a lot that goes into it. The core, it was a great question what the core operation is for the county. It's everything that you've mentioned that the townships does, but think of that 62 times. Also, the judicial system, the county clerks, the sheriff's department, not the court, the courts, not clerks, the county courts, the justice department, the prison, juvenile services, probation services, health and human services. We're a $1.3 billion budget. Roughly 650 million of that is operational. And I believe that none of us want to be in a position, and we're doing everything we can. We inherited some of these bigger projects. Our job now is to get them done. We're doing everything we can to streamline as much as possible. But we're not just spending all year and then trying to figure out how to deal with it frantically at the end of the year. Yes, there was tax increases going back to 2000. I think somebody mentioned 2020, but we can't go back and undo decisions that were made in the past. What we're trying to do is to understand those decisions that were made in the past and try to rectify or become more efficient or even make reductions where possible. We're on a good path in Montgomery County. We were at 9% the previous year. The previous year before that, I forget, I think it was 11 or 13%. But we got down to 4%. None of us, including myself, I said it numerous times, I hate it. I didn't want to be in that spot. But we also have 900,000 residents that we're trying to do everything possible to provide all the necessary services. And we will definitely look into the statements that the last person made, I think the second to the last person that made regarding Horsham and the facilities. But there is just a lot going on. I'm committed to doing everything I can to get to a zero-based budgeting. And I truly believe we will get there. But it's a lot of work, and we're committed and we're doing everything we can. So we are not just spending haphazardly. And I will support all our efforts, including the teams that we put in place. We even have a consulting firm that's looking at contracts. And I mean, we're going at this in every angle, because ultimately our goal is to put Montgomery County financially stable and in a very strong position, and to the point where we don't see additional increases in the future, but we're working towards that. The comments related to drop boxes, I have brought this up before. I did mention we have some drop boxes. The one comment at Green Lane Park, which is a beautiful lake. There's a lot of recreational things to do while you're there, but dropping ballots off in the middle of the night in a park is not a smart move. I said that we should move that. And the one in Mooresford on 2nd Avenue, it's sitting in a parking lot, very poorly lit. Again, we have people that may use these boxes later at night. And my concern was all along, from a county perspective, what is our responsibility if something happens there to somebody that's using those drop boxes in the middle of the night, unsecure locations, unmonitored? And I agree, we have enough county facilities in Montgomery County that we could do very similar to what our neighboring counties are doing with having these drop boxes. And I'm not going to get into debate about if we should have them, not have them. I believe that we should have them. If we're going to have them, we should have them in secure building locations. And like I said, we have there's enough county buildings where they could be located inside securely and where people could feel comfortable going in, dropping off their ballot and leaving without being in deserted parking lots or parks or whatever it may be. Our neighboring counties are doing it, and I don't believe there's no reason why we shouldn't have our drop boxes in a similar place. And I've also, I don't even think it came up, but I've said this before, there's no reason, and we know this, that they're not being used in the middle of the night. And there's no reason for our drop boxes to be open 24/7, as well as our neighboring counties do have staff monitoring those drop boxes. They're there. The county at one time did do that, and then we stopped doing that. And I think that we should seriously consider that as we move forward. I think we should consider moving the drop boxes into buildings, county buildings, in secure locations. And I believe we should consider not having them open 24/7.
Any closing comments?
No, I'll just say thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to the staff for showing up in the evening. Thank you to everyone who, has got their kids at home. I'm going to try to do bedtime over FaceTime in a second. But
Do you want us all to say goodnight?
yeah,
Behind
that'd
you?
be funny. I don't know if Rachel wants to just pop into a meeting like that. But no, it's an honor to serve. There's a lot of things we could talk about. I could talk about all my views on drop boxes. I think they're very convenient and fantastic because the USPS is not always reliable, and drop boxes are the best way to get your ballot to us on time, and be confident that they're going directly to the county, that they're going to be counted. So I'm grateful that they're going to be open when the ballots are available, which is something that we've been working towards. And yeah, I'm excited. Montgomery County had such a fantastic turnout this last year. Abington was a big part of that. We had 310,000 people vote. Typically, it's 200,000 in Montgomery County in an odd year election. So big deal. Absolutely, give yourself an applause and for that. And yeah, I'll just say, we've got another election coming up soon. So hope everyone finds the easiest way that they'd like to vote. Moncovotes.com, you can find all that, or moncopavotes.gov is the official. It's the same thing. But we're always here to serve, to help you exercise your rights and perform or deal with all of the core functions of the county, which there are many. There's not, not as perhaps straightforward as the local, but 911 is something we didn't mention. Brian's here, who runs that center. That's one of the easiest things that I point to that the county runs and coordinates, because everyone understands the importance of that. But many other things behind the scenes, from planning and infrastructure and human services, children and youth, all of the HHS department, very important things that we're providing every day, and grateful to work with my colleagues to do so in the most efficient manner possible. Go ahead.
Thank you for your comments. Thanks everyone for being here. We're really excited to be in Abington Township. We are committing to doing these more frequently, so stay tuned for our next meeting on the road. Always appreciate people coming out and sharing their perspectives. That's the only way that we can hear what's on people's minds, what's keeping people up at night. And so appreciate everyone that came to the podium to share their reflections and their views. I think I would just challenge us in this moment. Our national politics are really, really challenging. You turn on the news, regardless of what station, you go on social media, we are deeply divided as a nation. And one of the things that I've been stressing as we entered into a new year, especially with this board, is that regardless of our political affiliations or political differences, we have a responsibility to serve the 900,000 residents that call Montgomery County home. And that's what we strive to do every day that we walk into One Montgomery Plaza. We try to put our political differences aside so we can do the good work for the residents that call Montgomery County home. And what I would just implore folks that came up for public comment or people that are concerned what's happening with our national politics, be kind to one another, give each other grace, take time to learn someone's story, learn a different perspective, because I think the world will be a much better place if we just take the time to be kind to one another. And so we can have our differences, we can agree on ICE, we can agree on who we want to be disagree. We can disagree on ICE, we can disagree on who we want to be president of the United States, we can disagree on roads and bridges, but let's do it in a way that's kind to one another. So I want to thank everyone for your time and attention. I too need to get home to do bedtime with my 5-year-old. We're going to have a short salary board meeting, so I'd ask that everybody stay in their seats while we just wrap up a few closing things. Next board meeting will be March 5th, back in our boardroom at 10 a.m. in Norristown. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the February 19th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner DeBello. Don't say that so fast. Are you ready to get out of here?
I want to get you home to your child.
Yes, okay. Any board comment?
No, you did that. Oh,
No, I did-
Yeah, you're good.
yeah, I'm good. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going to do a quick salary board. Come on up, our controller, Bob Hart. Is there any public comment for salary board? Great. Bob, walk a little, you got to walk a little faster. Okay. Tony Brew.
Good evening, members of the salary board. You have in front of you a final copy of the salary board list. It is a 4-page document dated February 19, 2026, with a timestamp of 3:52 p.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for your consideration.
Thank you. Our coroner has public comment. Come on up. Give me. Thank you for that. Well,
hello. Hi, Abington. I came to the east side tonight, so glad to be here. It was a long drive, but it's okay. I'm here because I have 2 things on the salary board, and just want to thank the commissioners for considering it. And just wanted to say that the coroner's office has been neglected for many, many years, and we're trying to get up to speed. We are doing great work for the whole county, and adding these additional positions will definitely continue to serve our county with quality service, and also advocate for the staff that has been we get burned out every day. So we definitely need more staffing to be able to continue our service. So thank you for considering these 2 positions, and that's all.
thank you. Thank you for coming. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 19th, 2026 salary board presentation as given by Mr. Tony Brew. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the February 19th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Salary Board. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting